Research is hard, but your tools should not be. Subthesis.com is the free alternative to expensive software. Whether you need to calculate Cronbach's alpha or organize your field notes, Subthesis has a tool for it. No paywalls and no registration required. Check the link in the description and let's dive into today's lesson. Welcome back to the Graduate School Prep Series. Doctoral students face unique loan repayment challenges and opportunities. Extended time in school means longer periods of debt accumulation, but it also means more time to plan strategically and position yourself for programs like public service loan forgiveness. Many doctoral students and graduates mismanage their loans, not out of irresponsibility, but out of ignorance about optimal strategies. They make payments they didn't need to make. They miss out on forgiveness they could have received. They make choices that cost them tens of thousands of dollars over time. This video provides strategies specifically for doctoral students navigating federal loan repayment. By the end, you'll understand income-driven repayment, public service loan forgiveness, and how to create a personalized strategy aligned with your career trajectory. Here's what you'll learn. First, you'll understand income-driven repayment plans and their long-term implications. These plans can dramatically reduce monthly payments and lead to eventual forgiveness, but the details matter. Second, you'll navigate public service loan forgiveness eligibility and requirements. PSLF can eliminate massive debt for qualifying borrowers, but strict rules determine who qualifies. Third, you'll develop strategic approaches to doctoral-level debt management that account for extended education timelines and academic career paths. Fourth, you'll create a personalized repayment plan aligned with your specific career trajectory, whether that's academia, government, nonprofit, or private sector. Let's start with understanding income-driven repayment. Income-driven repayment plans fundamentally change how student loan payments are calculated. Instead of calculating payments based on your loan balance divided over 10 years, payments are calculated based on your income and family size. The loan balance becomes almost irrelevant to monthly payment amounts. Multiple income-driven plans exist. SAVE, the newest and often most generous, PIE, Pay As You Earn, IBR, Income-Based Repayment, and ICR, Income Contingent Repayment. Each calculates payments slightly differently. For most borrowers, Save or Payee offers the lowest payments. All income-driven plans include forgiveness of remaining balances after 20 to 25 years of qualifying payments. If you haven't repaid your loans after this period, the remaining balance is forgiven. This provides a ceiling on your total repayment. For many doctoral graduates, income-driven payments are significantly lower than standard repayment would require. If your income is modest relative to your debt, income-driven repayment protects you from unaffordable payments. The SAVE plan, Saving on a Valuable Education, is the newest and generally most generous income-driven repayment plan. It replaced the Repay plan with improved terms. Payments under SAVE are 10% of discretionary income for graduate loans. Discretionary income is calculated as your adjusted gross income minus 225% of the federal poverty line for your family size. This higher threshold means more income is protected before payments are calculated. A significant advantage of SAVE is that unpaid interest doesn't capitalize. On other plans, if your payment is less than accruing interest, the unpaid interest adds to your principal. Under SAVE, this doesn't happen. Your balance doesn't grow if you're making your calculated payments. For doctoral graduates with significant debt and modest early career income, SAVE often provides the lowest payments while protecting you from ballooning balances. It's typically the best starting point for anyone entering income-driven repayment. Let me walk through a payment calculation to illustrate how this works. Imagine a doctoral graduate with $50,000 annual income filing single with $80,000 in graduate loan debt. On standard 10-year repayment, monthly payments would be around $850. Under SAVE, the calculation starts with discretionary income. $50,000 minus the 225% poverty threshold for a single person, roughly $33,000, equals about $17,000 in discretionary income. 10% of that, divided by 12 months, equals roughly $140 monthly. That's $850 versus $140, a dramatic difference. The catch is that $140 doesn't reduce an $80,000 balance quickly. Interest accrues, but under Save, it doesn't capitalize. You'll pay for many years, potentially until forgiveness. You must recertify your income annually to maintain income-driven repayment. As income rises, payments increase, but the formula protects you from payments that exceed your ability to pay. Public Service Loan Forgiveness is the most valuable loan forgiveness program for those who qualify. It forgives remaining federal loan balances after 120 qualifying monthly payments. That's 10 years of payments, after which any remaining balance is eliminated. To qualify, you must work full-time for a qualifying public service employer. This includes government organizations at all levels: federal, state, local, and tribal. It includes most nonprofit organizations, those designated as 501c3 entities. It includes some other nonprofit types and public service roles. You must be on a qualifying repayment plan. All income-driven plans qualify. Standard repayment qualifies, but typically results in full repayment before 120 payments anyway. Graduated and extended plans don't qualify. Critically, PSLF forgiveness is tax-free. Unlike income-driven repayment forgiveness, which may be taxable income, PSLF doesn't trigger tax liability. This makes its value even greater. For doctoral graduates pursuing careers in academia, government, or nonprofit organizations, PSLF can eliminate massive debt. Understanding qualifying employment is essential for PSLF planning. Government employment at any level qualifies: federal agencies, state government, local government, and tribal organizations. Public health departments, public hospitals, government research agencies like CDC or NIH, and similar employers all qualify. Nonprofit 501c3 organizations qualify. Most traditional nonprofits, hospitals, universities, research institutes, and charitable organizations fall in this category. Verify the organization's tax status if you're uncertain. Some other nonprofits providing qualifying public services may qualify even without 501c3 status. This includes organizations providing specific services like public health, public safety, education, or social work. Most academic positions at public universities qualify. Faculty positions, research positions, and administrative roles at public institutions typically meet PSLF employment requirements. Positions at private nonprofit universities also generally qualify. Verify your specific employer's qualification using the PSLF help tool on studentaid.gov. Don't assume, confirm. Starting a job that doesn't qualify resets your payment count. Doctoral students can strategize around PSLF during their programs. Payments made during school can count toward your 120 if you're working in qualifying employment. A doctoral student with a graduate assistantship at a public university is working for a qualifying employer. If you're making qualifying payments on a qualifying plan, those payments count. In-school deferment doesn't count. If you're in deferment and not making payments, you're not accumulating qualifying payments. Deferment may be financially necessary, but it doesn't advance your PSLF timeline. Consider making payments even during school to start the clock. On an income-driven plan during school, your payments may be $0 if your income is low enough. $0 payments still count toward PSLF if you're working for a qualifying employer and on a qualifying plan. This is a legitimate strategy. Work at your university, enroll in income-driven repayment, make $0 payments during school, and accumulate qualifying payment months toward your 120. By graduation, you may have already made 4 or 5 years of qualifying payments. Proper documentation is essential for PSLF success. Many early applicants were denied because of poor record keeping or misunderstanding of requirements. Submit the employment certification form at least annually. This form verifies your employer qualifies and your employment dates. Submitting annually creates a paper trail and catches problems early. Track your qualifying payment count through studentaid.gov. After submitting employment certification, your qualifying payment count should update. Monitor this to ensure payments are being credited properly. Keep your own records of employment and payments. Save pay stubs, employment verification letters, and payment records. If discrepancies arise, your documentation supports your case. Don't wait until you think you've made 120 payments to verify eligibility. People have discovered after years that their employer didn't qualify or their repayment plan wasn't qualifying. Check early and verify annually to avoid devastating discoveries after years of assumed progress. PSLF isn't available for everyone. Understand when it doesn't apply. Private sector careers don't qualify. If you're going to work for a pharmaceutical company, consulting firm, or other for-profit business, PSLF isn't in your future. Your strategy must be different. For-profit employers categorically don't qualify, even if they do socially beneficial work. A for-profit hospital or a private health company doesn't meet PSLF employment requirements regardless of their mission. Some nonprofits don't qualify despite being nonprofits. Labor unions, partisan political organizations, and some religious organizations have specific exclusions. Verify carefully. If PSLF doesn't apply to your career path, alternative strategies become important. You might pursue income-driven repayment forgiveness at 20 to 25 years, though this forgiveness may be taxable. You might prioritize aggressive repayment to minimize total interest. You might pursue refinancing to lower interest rates, though this eliminates federal protections. Your debt management strategy should align with your actual career trajectory, not assume PSLF when it won't apply. Here's a powerful strategy that many doctoral students miss: treating graduate school as a PSLF accumulation opportunity. Graduate assistantships at public universities or nonprofit institutions typically qualify as PSLF employment. You're working part-time for a qualifying employer. On income-driven repayment with low graduate student income, your payments may calculate to $0. $0 payments count toward your $120 if you're on a qualifying plan with a qualifying employer. 5 to 7 years of doctoral study could mean 60 to 84 qualifying payments accumulated before you even enter the workforce. Enter your academic career with more than half your required payments already made. This strategy requires active management. You can't be in deferment, you must be in repayment. You must submit employment certification. You must ensure you're on a qualifying plan, but the payoff is potentially years of head start on loan forgiveness. For those pursuing academic careers, the PSLF strategy aligns well with career trajectory. Most academic positions at universities qualify for PSLF, whether at public or private nonprofit institutions. Faculty positions, research positions, and administrative roles typically meet employment requirements. Postdoctoral positions at universities typically qualify. These transitional positions between doctoral completion and permanent employment count toward your 120 payments while you establish yourself in academia. Tenure track positions, research scientist positions, and continuing academic roles continue qualifying employment. If you build a career in academia, you likely remain in qualifying employment throughout your working life. This means a doctoral graduate who accumulated payments during school and continues in academic employment may achieve complete loan forgiveness relatively early in their career. Debt that seems overwhelming becomes manageable with a clear forgiveness pathway. Government and nonprofit careers also align with PSLF, providing clear forgiveness pathways. Government positions at federal, state, and local levels qualify. Working at CDC, state health departments, county public health, or similar agencies qualifies for PSLF while contributing to public health. Nonprofit health organizations typically qualify. Hospitals, research institutes, advocacy organizations, and service providers organized as nonprofits meet employment requirements. Public health departments are perfectly aligned with PSLF. This creates a rare situation where your career interests, training, and optimal financial strategy all point the same direction. If you want to work in public health at government agencies or nonprofits, PSLF makes that career path financially sensible even with significant educational debt. The student debt that might make public sector salaries seem inadequate becomes manageable when 10 years of payments leads to forgiveness. Private sector careers require different loan management strategies since PSLF doesn't apply. Higher private sector salaries may support aggressive repayment. If you're earning substantially more than you would in public service, you may be able to pay off loans quickly, minimizing total interest. Calculate whether the income premium offsets the lost forgiveness. Income-driven repayment remains available without PSLF. You can still cap payments at a percentage of income and receive forgiveness after 20 to 25 years. However, this forgiveness may be taxable income, reducing its value. Refinancing with private lenders may offer lower interest rates than federal loans for borrowers with good credit and high income. However, refinancing eliminates federal protections. No income-driven repayment, no forgiveness programs, no federal forbearance options. Refinance only if you're confident you won't need these protections. Calculate total cost under different scenarios. How much would you pay under aggressive repayment? Under income-driven forgiveness? Under refinancing? Make decisions based on actual numbers, not assumptions. Avoid these common mistakes that derail PSLF progress. Consolidating loans incorrectly can reset your PSLF payment count. If you consolidate loans that already have qualifying payments, you may lose credit for those payments. Consolidation has legitimate uses, but must be done carefully. Being on the wrong repayment plan disqualifies your payments. Graduated and extended plans don't qualify for PSLF, even though they're federal plans. If you're pursuing PSLF, you must be on income-driven or standard repayment. Assuming your employer qualifies without verification is risky. Verify through the PSLF help tool. Submit employment certification forms. Don't discover after years that your payments weren't counting. Failing to recertify income annually can cause problems. Income-driven plans require annual recertification. Missing this deadline can shift you to a different calculation or payment amount. Stay on top of administrative requirements. These mistakes have cost borrowers thousands of dollars and years of progress. Don't let administrative errors undermine your strategy. Create a personal loan management strategy aligned with your actual situation. Assess your career trajectory realistically. Are you genuinely committed to academic, government, or nonprofit work? Or might you pursue private sector opportunities? Your strategy depends on honest career assessment. Calculate loan scenarios for your specific situation. Use loan simulators to model different repayment approaches: standard repayment, income-driven with PSLF, income-driven without PSLF, aggressive repayment in private sector. See actual numbers, not just concepts. Choose the repayment plan aligned with your strategy. If pursuing PSLF, get on an income-driven plan immediately. If pursuing aggressive repayment, consider whether the standard plan or higher discretionary payments make sense. Match plan to strategy. Document and monitor progress consistently. Track your payments, submit required forms, keep records. Loan management isn't a set-it-and-forget-it activity. Regular attention prevents problems and keeps you on track toward your goals. Let me outline the typical timeline for a doctoral student pursuing PSLF. During school, if you're working a qualifying job like a graduate assistantship at a public university, consider enrolling in income-driven repayment and making $0 payments that count toward PSLF. This accumulates years of qualifying payments before you even graduate. During the 6-month grace period after graduation, select your repayment plan and submit employment certification for your new job. Don't let this transition period create gaps in your strategy. In early career years, maintain qualifying employment and remain on a qualifying repayment plan. Submit employment certification annually. Monitor your qualifying payment count. Adjust your approach if career plans change. After 120 qualifying payments, typically around year 10, apply for PSLF forgiveness. With proper documentation and verified qualifying employment, your remaining balance should be forgiven. This timeline shows how PSLF transforms the debt burden. What seemed like an insurmountable sum becomes a manageable 10-year commitment with eventual complete forgiveness. Use these resources to manage your loans effectively. Studentaid.gov is the official federal student aid website. It provides authoritative information on loan programs, repayment options, forgiveness programs, and your specific loan details. Start here for any federal loan question. The PSLF help tool on studentaid.gov helps you verify employer qualification, generate employment certification forms, and track your PSLF progress. Use it regularly if you're pursuing forgiveness. Loan simulators help you calculate different scenarios. The official loan simulator on studentaid.gov models different repayment plans and their outcomes. Understanding your specific numbers guides better decisions. Certified student loan counselors provide professional guidance. If your situation is complex, consider consulting a certified professional. Avoid anyone charging fees to help with federal programs you can access yourself, but legitimate counselors can provide valuable guidance. These resources are free and authoritative. Use them rather than relying on potentially inaccurate third-party information. Take these action steps to implement what you've learned. Review your current loan status on studentaid.gov. Know exactly how much you owe, what interest rates apply, and who services your loans. This baseline information is essential for planning. Determine whether your current work qualifies for PSLF. If you're a graduate assistant at a public university or nonprofit institution, your work likely qualifies. Verify through the PSLF help tool and consider whether to begin accumulating qualifying payments now. Evaluate income-driven repayment options for your situation. Use the loan simulator to see what your payments would be under different plans. If you're pursuing PSLF, low payments while accumulating qualifying payment months is typically optimal. Create a multi-year loan management plan aligned with your career trajectory. Write down your strategy, what plan you'll use, how you'll track progress, what contingencies exist if plans change. A documented plan keeps you accountable and on track. Let's summarize the key points for doctoral student loan management. Income-driven repayment plans cap your payments at affordable levels based on income, not loan balance. This protects you from unmanageable payments regardless of how much you've borrowed. Public service loan forgiveness provides complete tax-free forgiveness after 120 qualifying payments for those in qualifying employment. For doctoral graduates pursuing academic, government, or nonprofit careers, PSLF fundamentally changes the debt calculus. Doctoral students can begin accumulating PSLF qualifying payments during school if they're working qualifying jobs and on qualifying repayment plans. $0 payments count. Years of doctoral study can translate to years of PSLF progress. Your strategy should align with your realistic career trajectory. PSLF strategies make sense for those genuinely committed to qualifying employment. Different strategies apply for those pursuing private sector careers. Honest career assessment guides optimal loan management. In our next video, we'll discuss working while in graduate school, exploring the trade-offs and strategies for balancing employment with educational demands. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next video. Writing the thesis is a marathon, not a sprint, but you do not have to run it alone. If you are feeling stuck with your data or overwhelmed by your sources, let us help. Head over to subthesis.com. It is completely free and designed to make your life easier. You are making progress. Keep going. And don't forget to subscribe for more support.